What is the origin of the three-eyed divine ability? Why does it contain a trace of the aura of a third-step divine ability? In Renegade Immortal, there are two seemingly unrelated details that actually conceal an extremely significant secret. First, why does the three-eyed divine ability carry a trace of the aura of a third-step divine ability? Second, why did Shu Leguo immediately feel an extremely familiar sensation upon meeting Li Yuan for the first time, so familiar that it made his scalp tingle? As it turns out, both matters are related to origin, the divine soul, and secrets buried since ancient times. Today, we will analyze all of these noteworthy details together. And if you enjoy this video, you can support the channel by liking, sharing, and watching the advertisements, helping me gain more funding to create more high-quality videos. Thank you all very much. The three-eyed divine ability was originally an exclusive eye technique passed down through generations within the Zhang family of the Luo Tian starfield. Its origins can be traced back to a fragmentary inheritance from the ancient Thunder Immortal realm. In ancient times, there was once a powerful expert from the Immortal realm who had reached the third step and created this eye technique to observe laws and see through illusions. Later, the cultivation method became incomplete and drifted into the mortal world, where it was accidentally obtained by an ancestor of the Zhang family and preserved and passed down through many generations. The cultivators of the Zhang family were all limited to the second step. They could only slowly discover superficial methods of using it, such as activating the vertical eye between the brows, analyzing techniques, and seeing through illusions. However, they were never able to uncover the true core meaning of this divine ability. After Zhang Zhen successfully cultivated the technique, he merely regarded it as an ordinary defensive secret art and completely failed to realize the profound origin mysteries hidden within it. In the original story, Wang Lin exchanged 3 killing techniques for it. Zhang Zhen even deliberately altered the cultivation method recorded in the jade slip. Yet Wang Lin still saw through it and corrected it with ease. Second-step cultivators relied on intent domains to mobilize the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, while the core of the third step was to grasp the great Tao origin and the laws of heaven and earth. This was precisely the fundamental reason why the three-eyed divine ability carried such a special aura. The origin structure of this eye technique was originally constructed based on the principles used by third-step cultivators to observe the laws of the world. Its vertical eye was not merely an immortal technique. It naturally possessed the ability to glimpse the circulation of origin, unlike ordinary techniques that could only affect the level of spiritual energy. It could directly touch the surface layer of laws. However, the inheritance had been eroded over countless years. Most of its origin power had dissipated, leaving behind only the faintest trace of a great Tao imprint. In the eyes of outsiders, it appeared to carry a weak trace of the aura of a third-step divine ability. This origin aura would not be released automatically. Only cultivators with sufficiently high cultivation and realms, whose Tao hearts were close enough to origin, could sense it. Most cultivators in the Luo Tian starfield remained trapped within intent domains throughout their entire lives and fundamentally could not distinguish the difference between origin and spiritual energy. Wang Lin alone had already begun exploring the path of origin cultivation from an early stage. Therefore, when he fought Zhang Zhen, he recognized at a glance that the red light contained a La Dao rhyme completely different from Fanshu. When ordinary cultivators used the three-eyed divine ability, it could only be used to analyze divine abilities and disturb the divine soul. And its aura was completely ordinary. However, once the cultivator activated this eye technique through an understanding of origin, the deeply hidden aura of the third step would be revealed. It could even form an invisible threat to cultivators at the Nirvana Scryer realm. When Wang Lin entered the Thunder Immortal realm, after absorbing the origin of war left behind by the third-step expert within the war character Talisman, the three-eyed divine ability finally underwent a true transformation. It was like an inheritance that had slept for countless years finally finding the missing piece of the puzzle. The divine eye actively absorbed the remaining origin power, causing the originally faint aura of laws to gradually become more solid. The vertical eye between the brows, which had previously appeared only as a phantom when temporarily activated, also transformed into a permanent red line, as if an origin eye were silently awakening. This divine ability helped Wang Lin break through the shackles of the second-step intent domain and learn how to actively observe the flow of the origin of heaven and earth. Unfortunately, this third-step aura was not merely a remnant left behind by an ancient inheritance. It also continued to grow stronger as it absorbed origin from the outside world. In the end, it fused with the various origins belonging to Wang Lin himself, becoming the foundation that allowed him to destroy countless techniques with nothing more than a single glance. Then why did Xu Leguo say that Li Yuan gave him a familiar feeling? The familiar sensation that made Xu Leguo's scalp tingle was not merely a cultivator's intuition. Instead, it was a painful memory buried deep within his divine soul, simultaneously awakened by several strange auras emanating from Li Yuan. This unusual sensation also became an important mystery planted in the trailer. At this time, Xu Leguo had inherited the ancient immortal sword intent of Zhou Yi. His ability to sense divine souls far surpassed that of ordinary cultivators at the Ascendant realm. His sensitivity toward all kinds of evil forces that enslaved or imprisoned divine souls had reached an extreme level. Even the tiniest fluctuations of soul power that ordinary cultivators could not detect would be infinitely magnified within his perception. The moment he approached Li Yuan, his divine soul was struck by a piercing pain that reached deep into his bones, instinctively giving rise to a strange feeling intertwined with both fear and familiarity. The first layer of the origin of this familiar feeling came from the enslaving soul power emitted by the immortal servant soul within Li Yuan's body, which precisely touched upon the most painful memories in Xu Leguo's past. In the beginning, Xu Leguo had been a nascent soul cultivator of the Heavenly Dipper sect. However, after only his damaged nascent soul remained, he was forced to flee. With no other choice, he had to take refuge in the corpse sect and rely on a low-level corpse puppet to host his divine soul. Enduring the restraints of evil soul-locking restrictions every day, every second and every moment, he suffered the torment of having his divine soul forcibly manipulated and seized by a slave seal that had taken root for 10,000 years. Within the bloodline of the Li family, an ancient immortal servant remnant soul was parasitically residing. This remnant soul had parasitized members of the Li family for generations, relying on the extraction of the divine souls and life force of living beings to survive. Its cold and domineering aura of soul control was completely identical to the origin of the soul-locking technique of the corpse sect. The painful memories deeply engraved within Xu Leguo's divine soul were instantly awakened. The person before him was clearly Li Yuan, whom he was meeting for the first time. Yet the oppressive pressure brought by the soul power was exactly like the sensation he had experienced in the past when he was imprisoned inside a corpse puppet, creating a terrifying feeling that made his scalp tingle. The second layer of resonance came from the origin aura of the annihilation restriction, which had been uniquely passed down within the Li family. The annihilation restriction was originally an ancient killing restriction used to tear apart divine souls and imprison physical bodies, while the evil technique used by the corpse sect to control corpse puppets was precisely a branch derived from it. The patterns of the restrictions and the laws that bound divine souls possessed an extremely high degree of similarity. Whenever Li Yuan moved, he would unconsciously emit a faint aura of the annihilation restriction. The dense patterns of restriction techniques entered Xu Leguo's perception and instantly brought back the painful memories of his nascent soul being torn apart by corpse restrictions time and time again. Unlike ordinary cultivators, who could only see through the killing power of the annihilation restriction, Xu Leguo could directly penetrate the outer layer of the technique and grasp the deeper core of soul locking and spirit control. The two auras of restriction power, combined with their similar origins, caused the familiar feeling to grow increasingly intense. His fear also increased accordingly, allowing him to realize that Li Yuan was concealing a sinister threat capable of endangering the divine soul. The final abnormality, and also the deepest layer, came from the splitting fluctuations caused by Li Yuan possessing two souls within one body, instinctively making Xu Leguo wary. Within Li Yuan's physical body, his own primordial spirit and the remnant soul of the immortal servant existed simultaneously. The two auras had been constantly fighting for control of the physical body for years. At times, one was gentle and sincere; at other times, it was cold and stubborn. These two completely opposing divine soul auras constantly collided and tore at each other. Xu Leguo himself had also spent a long period of time using his divine soul to possess external objects. Therefore, he deeply understood the strange state of a divine soul being torn apart while consciousness overlapped. He was already extremely familiar with the distorted fluctuations created when two souls shared the same body. That was why Xu Leguo immediately spoke frankly to Wang Lin about the familiar feeling on the other person's body that made his scalp tingle, while also sounding the alarm for Wang Lin in advance. That concludes today's content. What do you think? If you enjoyed it, don't forget to take a few seconds to hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe to support us. Finally, thank you all sincerely for watching.